Welcome everybody. Come on in. Those of you that can tap in good and tap in early, talk to me. Let me know if you can hear me good. Tap in. We're about to go ahead and wrap up this new episode of Kvng Talk for tonight. Got a very special episode for y'all tonight. And we're gonna chop this game up, you know what I'm saying? And make it real easy for y'all to understand, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna break down concrete in the grain, you know what I'm saying? And take it one piece at a time so that y'all understand the full gap and spectrum of understanding that you need when it comes to things regarding kingship, spirituality, power, and all that shit. But listen, tonight I want to talk about this phrase that I keep hearing women say over and over and over and over again, right? And I guys just want you to consider how dumb this shit actually sounds when I'm getting ready to break it down, but how much they say this all the time, especially on little podcast content and shit, right? You'll see women say this phrase all the time when it comes to what they post online or what they say on media and shit like that. But when it comes to how they deal with guys and shit all the time, they're always talking about how I'm naturally submissive. Excuse me. I'm naturally submissive. I want you guys to think about that shit, right? What it means to be naturally submissive. Guys, let me tell you something. Stop letting women fool you by giving you this I'm naturally submissive talk. First of all, in a generation like this, women can't even fathom the idea of what submission is really all about. And you can go all the way back to the beginning of time and all the way back to the beginning of history, all the way down from the first man to the first woman. And I'm here to tell you today that none of that submission was really natural. No, it's not. Now, people are going to get pissed at me for saying that. And me as a young Kvng, I don't give a fuck. But I'm finna break around the reason why there's no such thing in hell as a woman that's just, she's naturally submissive, right? Here's the thing that you got to understand about women. From the beginning of time, whenever there's a certain type of social spectrum of expectation that's expected out of women, for them to behave modestly, for them to be able to submit, for them to be able to uphold themselves to a certain standard that men feel is great towards engaging with for terms of long-term relationship or involvement. I'm telling you guys, the only reason why women like that qualified for those positions was because it was met with some type of fucking consequence in which if they didn't go about those standards, it will result in them getting some type of punishment or having a foot upheld against their neck, because they seem to have to either be forced into this shit or they have to be trained into this and want it for themselves. Even the Bible goes and says, even talks about the way you raise children. You raise children up in the way that you want them to go. So if you want a whole nation of people that's full of women that are here to be submissive, they have to be trained. They have to be trained and they have to be taught this shit. It has to be embedded in them through their mother, through their mother's mother, through their mother's mother. You go and check this generation now. Their great grandmother was the last woman that understood what the hell submission was really all about. They're the last one. Even grandma don't really get that shit all the way. That's the reason why she over there dying lonely and shit. And she wanting to spill that shit on y'all, trying to make y'all feel powerful by sitting down, trying to make y'all feel like the best thing for y'all to be able to say to inherit another man coming to your life is by trying to tell him that you're naturally submissive. That's some bullshit. Women are not really naturally submissive like that. What does the definition of natural actually mean? The definition of natural is something that happens that isn't initiated by humankind. It happens on its own. It doesn't, you don't have a woman that comes and she's born and she slides right out the coochie and everything. And from there on, she thinks to myself, my whole entire life, I'm just going to submit to everything that's around me, especially in a culture that is influencing her to be single, to not be dependent upon a man, to not value men at all, to have an independent mindset, and just overall undervalue everything that upholds the foundation of a strong relationship. She has to be taught these things from womanhood up. You go to these other countries, we sit down, we seem to be the only country having that issue with that shit. Other countries, they don't have these issues. You go into China, you go into damn Australia, you go into goddamn Canada if you damn want to. You go into goddamn, you know what I'm saying, other parts of Africa and everything and stuff like that. Hell, even a perfect example, I don't even have to agree with their walk religiously, but look at the Muslims. They have a certain type of dynamic of expectation that they expect from their women, and their women are raised to be able to serve their man. No, it's not to the point where it's like you put that person above God, but they understand the umbrella of what it means to be able to have a man over you. What does the Bible say? Go back to the Bible, y'all. I keep talking about this submission shit with y'all all the time. Okay, what does the Bible say in regards to that? God spoke to Adam, he spoke to Eve, and when he spoke to Adam and he spoke to Eve, he said, your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. Not beside you, not with you, not under you, not, y'all follow me here? He will rule over you, not side by side, not equal, none of that shit. And when God put Eve on this earth, he had an assignment for her. And that assignment was to be submissive towards Adam in his walk to be able to do things regarding work in the garden when we had the first heaven here on earth. That's what that was. And from there, it got passed on from generation to generation to generation. But even then, the dynamic got messed up because we ate from the forbidden fruit and allowed sin to come into our life. So therefore, God had to speak that dynamic onto women. Your husband shall rule over you. There ain't no side by side with this shit. That's the reason why I hate when I go in church and shit like that and I sit down. I be wanting to tell them so bad. They're like, the husband and the woman is supposed to submit to each other. No, they're not. I'm sorry to tell you this shit. No, they're not. You as the woman are supposed to be submitting to your man. You go in the Bible and you find all kinds of Bible verses talking about how the woman is supposed to be submissive towards the man. But do you know what the man is supposed to be submissive towards? Two things in the Bible it says. It says he's supposed to submit to the will to love her and make her feel loved. You're not submitting to her. You're submitting to the will to make her feel loved. And when you submit to the will to make her feel loved, then she will be honored and she will be respected in her ability to be able to be submissive in place or whatever it takes to keep that engagement between you and her flourishing. That's what it takes. Because it's the same thing when you go into your job. You don't go into your job and look at your manager or your supervisor or your boss and say, you know what? You're the head of me, but I get to tell you what to do today. You clock out and go home. I wish you would talk to your damn boss like that. A person that's over you. If you go to a sign and this sign says, you know what? Danger could be left or right, but we have to make a decision. Go left or right. Where the hell are you going to go if both of y'all got equal power? You're going to be stuck if you're going to go left and she's going to go right and she's not submissive towards you and wherever the hell it is that you say you're going to go. That's not how this shit works. And I keep telling you this shit, guys. And the second way that a man is only supposed to submit towards his woman is when it comes to things of sexuality, because the Bible tells you not to hold your body away from your partner when it comes to their sexual needs, because you're their only source of sex. Now, it's one thing if you just physically can't do it and you're in pain and you're sick or you're ill or something like that. And it's a whole nother thing when you can, but you're just choosing not to because you don't feel like it. That's not what this is. You tell me how many women is naturally like that. They're not going to do that. Anytime you have a systematic structure of women that are inclined to be wives, it's because they have some type of punishment reward system that enables them to be able to stay in that type of position. You don't believe me? Go all the way back to the Bible and everything in the early days. What would happen to a woman if they found out that she was promiscuous, cheating on her husband, doing things? They stoned her to death. And that's the reason why she decided to go ahead and be submissive in a time period like that and actually go forward to everything it took, whatever, to keep her modest. Because if she didn't do it, she'd fucking end up stoned. Fast forward in the future, what in the world would happen if the woman decided that she didn't want to be submissive to a woman and whatever stuff like that? Damn it, it will be the struggle power for you to be able to find somewhere to take care of yourself. So then they have to fight for positions to work. Here you come with that feminist shit. You really had life easy just sitting down and just being the type of woman and everything to allow a man to come and take care of you. But damn it, there was always some type of punishment that had to come through in order to keep them on guard for being the type of woman that it is to actually call themselves qualified for submission. It does not never come naturally. Go back a few hundred years, go back a few years and everything and stuff like that. They had the skull's bridle. She get talking too much. They consider her difficult, all kinds of stuff like that. They would take a metal plate and put it over her mouth because they want her to be quiet, but it was some type of punishment. And you walked around the neighborhood like that. And that punishment is what kept you in the position of submission, in a position to be able to call yourself wanting to be the modest type of woman. It was never just came naturally. But fast forward into the modern day times and stuff like that, you have liberation. You have the fact that I can be a promiscuous and you still have to respect me as if I'm a queen. You still have the ability where women can say and do whatever they want. And you got all this negative influence that's pushed against people in today's time period to make them feel like men aren't valuable towards the world and that they're not needed. And you sit down and tell me how that influence is going to be on you all the time in a generation like this, and how you're not going to be raised or whatever towards understanding submission and what it's all about, and how that's going to come with you naturally. That shit never comes with no women naturally. I'm sorry to tell you this. What does it mean to be natural at something? It means you could be gifted at something. It means you can be talented at something effortlessly. But how many women do you find it be easy to be submissive in this generation? It is difficult for them. It's difficult as hell. They have the most hardest time understanding what submission is all about, because damn it, they equate submission to damn near slavery. And they don't know the difference between slavery and obedience. In slavery, you ain't got no choice in the matter. You either going to do it or it's going to be some type of a punishment behind the shit or whatever, stuff like that. With obedience, you just willingly yield yourself over to whoever it is you care about. And because you honor them, and because you revere them, and because you respect them, and because you admire them, and because you appreciate them, you allow them to be able to take headship in your life by means of protection, by means of provision, by means of guidance, and by means of leadership for wherever it is that you're trying to go as a team, as a unit. That's what it's about. And women don't do that shit naturally. I'm sorry to tell you that. They don't. Stop letting them manipulate you by sitting down trying to tell you that they do that shit naturally. Well, I'm submissive naturally. It just got to be the right man. Well, if it got to be the right man, then you're not naturally submissive. You're not automatically submissive to every man that you come across. He has to be of a certain caliber. He has to have a certain amount of resources. He has to have a certain amount of status. He has to be valuable to you in some way that you find superior in order for you to be able to call yourself submissive to that person. And even when you do give your submission to that person, it's only when you feel like it and to the degree that you feel is okay towards what you're willing to give. It's never whole heart like that. Not unless you're raised from the get jump. See, this is why I got you guys to understand when it comes to women and stuff like that, when it comes to marriage and when it comes to things of that nature. It's the same thing with men when it comes to leadership. I believe that men can naturally grow and have leadership embedded in them and stuff like that to be able to go off and do that kind of stuff like that. But to be the best and to be the most effective type of leader, it does take training to a certain extent, even for men. How in the world is it that y'all naturally like this? It's hard for y'all to be naturally good at anything because y'all weren't born good. Y'all had to be trained and learn what good was all about and have moral values installed inside of you. When I want to make myself a leader and I want to see myself as far as a leader, I say, okay, what traits do I need to obtain to myself to make me an effective leader? People think it's all about certain things and stuff like that ain't got nothing to do with leadership. It has everything to do with your character. It has everything to do with your enthusiasm. It has everything to do with remaining positive. It has everything to do with having courage. It has everything to do with stepping up to the plate when things need to be done. It has everything to do with stepping to the outside and allowing yourself to equip yourself with the qualities necessary to be effective in what it is God calls you to do. So that means that you need to separate yourself, get into the Word of God, get into wherever it is that you need, maintain other men around your life and everything that can equip you with the skills, equip you with the knowledge, equip you with the wisdom to understand what leadership is all about and how to be an effective leader before you can call yourself being one like that. But it don't come naturally like that for most of y'all. Y'all have to learn it in some way. And it's the same thing with submission from women. As a matter of fact, it's more so like that from submission with women. Because as a human species, you're made to conquer. You're made to dominate. It's embedded in you. You're a reflection of God. That's what you're made and put here to do. You naturally are supposed to have some type of leadership qualities in you, at least embedded in you spiritually. You just have to find a way to access and awaken what's already been put inside of you. A lot of y'all sleep on that though. But for a woman, if she's not trained by her mom, if she's not given game by her grandmother, if she's not having a one-on-one relationship with her father to understand how to deal with the man, to understand what it means to cater to him, to understand what it means to give him care. Damn it, y'all be beating me the fuck up just for saying that it's okay for a woman to care for a man. Y'all be trying to beat me up for that and tell me I'm not P and give me the hardest fucking time because I'm sitting here giving y'all real life scenarios on what a woman will do for you when she actually cares about you. When a woman does care about you and shit like that, that is one thing she naturally will do when she loves you. She will naturally care for you if she feels for you the way that she doesn't feel about any other man. In ways of reverence, in ways of appreciation, in ways of respect, and in ways of submission and servitude. But y'all wouldn't know the half of what that shit means. Because y'all sitting here thinking that the only thing I got to do is slap between some coochie, walk, and be fucking boring and shit like that. And damn it, I can be the best leader and I can be the best submissive person I need to be. That's what you guys need to understand about love. Love is something that you have to learn. It's kind of like when you make your first drawing. When you grab a crayon, when you're in preschool, and you grab your first drawing, and you try to draw it and everything, it don't come out looking pretty. It look pretty to you then, because, hey, that's the best you can do. And damn it, you taking that damn crayon and going across that right sheet of paper, it can be scribble scrabble, but it looks beautiful to you. But as you get older, you look back at your scribble scrabble and you say, damn, I made a mess looking at this shit, but I thought it was the shit when I was younger. It's the same thing with love when you grow up. You always practice your art. Love is an art that has to be practiced. So when you're practicing the form of art, you're always increasing it. You're always learning what it means to love as you go about your life. It's not always something that just comes natural. You're not just born knowing how to love somebody correctly. You have to go through the ups and downs. You got to make some mistakes. You have to learn things about what it means to love somebody correctly. A lot of that comes from getting in the Word and understanding what love is all about. If some of y'all would just apply the basic things that the Bible says about love, y'all wouldn't even be in the positions that y'all talking about. Love is not rude. Love is kind. Love does not boast. Yet your woman talk all over you while you're talking. That's rude. She boasting and everything every time you turn around and everything. And your relationship is anything but kind, but you still think you're in love because you got a sexual attraction to a person that you can't let go because you have unhealthy, unresolved trauma that dwells within you that allows you to not be able to be within a person and allow yourself to engage with a person from a healthy perspective because all your life you decide to damn deal with somebody from an unhealthy way and now you don't know what real love feels like. So because you don't know what real love feels like, you go and you engage in toxicity between somebody and you have the wrong idea to think that toxicity is what love is all about. And you think that that's what submission is. And that ain't got shit to do with submission. You think submission is just, oh, I care about you a whole lot and I'll make you a sandwich every now and then and shit like that and give you some sex when I feel like it. And I'll let you lead and everything when I'll let you, see, that's the power. See, here's the thing, guys. Here's another thing I want to talk to y'all about too. Here's another thing I got to drop on y'all too. Lord knows I'm dropping some gems tonight. Stay away from women that say, well, I'll let my man lead. I'll let, see, when a woman talks about how she lets a man lead, that is a big red flag right there. Because what is she doing? She's talking from a position of control. She's talking from a position of power. She's talking from a position of she has control whether you're a leader or not. Your leadership has nothing to do with her at all like that. Understand, as a man, your job as a leader is to go ahead and put your stronghold on your back. And you walk towards Christ and you walk towards wherever it is that God intended for you to go. That's between you and God for you to be able to be a leader. Who gives a damn if she don't follow? There's lots of women and shit like that that are with great leaders, but they choose not to fucking follow or submit themselves to that motherfucker because they're not equipped to be able to go where it is that he's willing to go. They're not on his level yet. And they don't have enough reverence for whoever it is that they're dealing with to understand his walk of life. So they choose to stay back. And they say, you know what? I'll let you lead. You see, when a woman says let, she's saying that shit like she got your collar around your neck or something. Like she's in control of when you can be a leader or not. It's like, today I'll let you be a leader, but tomorrow and everything, if I decide not to let you lead, I'm going, no, that has nothing to do with that. You are not in control of my leadership, bitch. I'm going to walk to where the hell I'm going to walk. And if your ass ain't willing to follow me and go to wherever the hell I'm going, you can just get left behind. Those are your only options. You can either come with me where I'm going. You can either find somebody else that's more equipped for your walk of life and follow that motherfucker, or you can get left in the fucking dust. You pick one. But what you're not going to do is make me feel like I'm not an equipped leader and shit like that because you're not going to be naturally submissive or you're going to let somebody fucking lead and shit like that whenever the fuck you feel like. That's some bullshit. And don't know real man, don't know man a real fucking caliber, don't know alpha male is going to fucking damn deal with no certain situations like that. Because he understands what the fuck leadership is and what the hell it means to inherit those goddamn qualities. He's been trained for that shit since birth. This is what I need you guys to understand and pick up off the lesson behind this shit. If you are a man and you're striving to be a king and you're striving towards excellence in life, this is the reason why I'm against the Sigma mindset too. I need you guys to understand you cannot do everything alone because people that want to do everything alone feel that everything comes naturally to them. I got this. I don't need nobody. Yes, the hell you will need somebody. In fact, it takes iron to sharpen iron. It takes diamond to sharpen diamond. That's how you get good. Where the hell would Bruce Lee be if it weren't for Ip Man? Where the hell would Venus and Serena be if it weren't for the man that was helping them out with tennis and shit? Where the hell would it be for all these damn people or whatever and shit like that inherit all these skills and quality in life if it weren't for the masters that stood there with them under that hierarchy and trained them in the way to go? The Bible says, raise your child in the way they need to go, and they will not depart from it. So if she's not raised to be a wife, if she's not raised to understand what it means to be able to deal with no nigga, if she's not raised to understand what it means to have reverence, if she's not raised to understand what the hell it has to be able to have a one-on-one relationship with a person where you can interdependently grow with that person, I'm telling you, you will never get there. God said just because we're alone, but we're not alone. We're never alone because we got God with us. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. God, the devil wants you to be isolated. He don't want you to be able to inherit or train yourself in the ways of leadership or the ways of submission or the ways of whatever guides you towards being the type of person you need to sustain a healthy relationship. They don't want that. Think about a battery. A battery has a positive charge and a negative charge. And when you put them together, you get electric flow. But if you take the positive charge and put the positive charge with it, they goddamn push each other apart. When you got the damn negative side and the negative side, it goddamn pushes each other apart. They don't never fucking click or nothing. You don't get no static unless it's positive and negative put together. What is the positive and negative? The masculine and feminine energy. And you get that even in homosexual relationships, because somebody gonna be doing the bending and somebody finna be getting bent over. It's the same thing. I don't care what dynamic of relationship it is. If you're talking about a relationship dynamic, you're going to have one person that's a conqueror and he's leading, and you're going to have another person that's submissive. That's how the relationship was designed to work. Because relationships between men and women are a reflection between God and the church. And whenever they resemble that, it resembles praise and reflection of what it means to have unity in the Most High. That's what it means. It's a reflection between the bond that God has with us and the way that procreates and allows us to be able to continue our legacy. You can't do that if you don't have a person who wants to damn run away from their role or whatever it is that God called them to be, because they sitting down thinking that shit comes to them naturally and shit like that, and they don't want to be raised in the direction they need to go. If you want this crown, if you want this kingship, if you want to be a masculine framed man, train yourself on the ways of the go and train yourself on the ways of masculinity. Train yourself on these things. Build yourself up. Allow yourself to be able to have other people around you that can pour into you. That's what the past generation is for. And that's the reason why our generation is so fucked up today. Our generation is fucked up today because we have a lot of people from previous generations not passing down the game. And you have a lot of people within this damn generation and shit that won't shut the fuck up and listen. Because they don't understand what the hell it means to be a leader. And they don't understand what the hell it means to have submission. They think leadership is about being a tyrant, and they think submission is slavery. And it's not. You don't have to be under me if you don't fucking want to. But if you reverence me, and if you damn value me, and you want to allow me to be that type of stronghold and foundation in your life to help you get to wherever it is that you need to go, then damn it, hang on tight and let's go for this ride and let's get there together. But what we're not going to do is sit down and act like we got all the fucking cards, like we got all the docs in order, like everything is just all automatic and everything. Stop thinking that you're automatically a good person just because you feel like you are. You're not. You have to train yourself to be able to understand what it means to love people appropriately and understand what it means to keep yourself on the next level. Even with everything that I know now regarding love, relationships, and everything that I do, I still feel like there's things I can learn every day to be able to make me a better lover. Every day. And it grows. And it never stops growing. Because I'm content and I'm humble. I didn't just come out of somebody. Yeah, I came out, I naturally and everything and stuff like that grew up having a kind heart and wanting to do for people and everything and stuff like that. But to get to the extent that I had to even be effective towards wherever it is that I need to be, calling myself a leader, especially as a man, I had to equip myself with these things. I had to be able to understand what the hell stoicism was. I had to be able to understand what it means to be able to watch what I say with my mouth, because I could end up hurting somebody and everything that I felt was valuable to me and on my team, and I don't end up need that person end up going down. I need to understand what it means to not seek revenge all the time and let go and let God. I need to understand what it means to be able to set an example. I need to understand what it means to be able to hold masculine frame. I need to understand what it means to be able to walk in my purpose and walk in my life and find out what that is and where I'm going. And that does not always come naturally. That comes to you throughout the way that you walk in your life and how it equips itself to you towards your lifestyle, towards your purpose, and towards your story. It comes to you like that. It comes to you along the way. And that's what makes it beautiful. Because if you had it all together from the get-jump, you wouldn't have to worry about all this daggone talking and game and all this stuff. What in the world we even need the word of God for? What we need, we already got our adoption for. You're naturally submissive. You're naturally this. You're naturally that. You're not naturally nothing. None of you are. And you need to be humble, and you need to admit that. And every day when you get on your knees and you pray, you should be telling God, God, I want to be a better lover tomorrow than I was today. Allow me to be able to grow in everything that resembles love and how you perceive it. That's what you should be doing. But leave it up to women. Women think that they're the best lovers in the world. They think they're naturally submissive simply because they want to daggone give themselves to a person only when he has a certain amount, only when he has enough, only when he's a certain status, only if he's sexually attractive to that person under a certain dynamic. You're not naturally submissive. No, the hell you're not. The only time you're submissive to a person and junk like that is when you want something out the person, when you want some dick from the guy, or when you're in a situation where if you don't give that submission, that reverence, and that respect, it will be met by a negative consequence. I'm talking shit and I'm spitting gems on this bitch today. Naturally submissive. Get the fuck out of here. These women will manipulate you that shit. Oh, I'm naturally submissive when I'm with the right man. No, you're not. Because even when it takes being submissive to the right man, that right man got a certain qualifications of things that he needs you to do to be the best lover and be the best type of helpmeet it is to him in his life. And those requirements aren't the same. It's different for everybody. You have to train yourself to be able to inherit the skills necessary to be able to be a benefit towards that person that you're engaging yourself with. And that requires training. Women hate the word training. Whenever you talk about training with them, and they want to feel like, well, you're making me feel like a dog. Well, goddamn it, everything in life that you fucking get to in life and everything, you have to fucking train yourself for it. And when you go to job and everything and stuff like that, they have to train you to be able to do your job correctly when you're on the job. And once you get through with that training, only then can you call yourself an effective employee. When it comes to your damn education and shit and school that you go to and everything, yes, you have to go through training. You go through the training by sitting down and reading in those books and learning everything about whatever it is that you're passionate about, that you're trying to get that degree in. And only then, after studying all that stuff, after passing all the tests, after passing all the quizzes, after passing everything it is, and the exams and everything they put you through, can you actually inherit the certificates and diplomas of what it takes to call yourself ready for that. And it's the same thing when it comes to your personal life. You cannot just naturally walk up into this shit. You got to damn put yourself through the training that it takes to be able to call yourself a valuable helpmeet to me in my life. You cannot just naturally come up in here like that. You want design that way. But they don't understand that shit. I'm talking my shit today. For instance, when it comes down to me, a woman that comes into my life got to understand that, for one, you have to know how to cook. I don't want to deal with a woman that can't cook. And here's the thing about cooking. You can cook for other men in all kinds of ways and shit like that. But I got certain shit that I do and don't eat because I'm on a diet and because I have certain types of shit or whatever stuff that I do according to my fitness and my way of life in which I choose to engage in eating. I don't eat pork and shit like that. So I used to deal with this other girl and whatnot. She would come through and she loved cooking for me. But she would always put some pork on the damn grill and some shit like that. Or she would always be putting certain types of meat and everything that I don't eat. Now, you would think that she's naturally submissive because she wants to damn cook for me and shit like that. But in order for her to get to the star, 5-star quality of that submission, she has to learn what type of nigga I am, and she has to train herself in the ways that are valuable to me and what makes it effective for her to be the best chef for me, to be able to allow herself to allow me to be able to eat good in a way that is effective towards being a valuable helpmeet towards my stomach and how I choose to eat and engage in my life. Because I can't eat everything. You have to come into my life and everything. You have to be able to learn certain things about whoever it is you deal with and train yourself to be effective on how to be able to please me in those areas. Even when it comes down to sex, I like my sex a certain way. You got to be able to be trained on what to do with my dick. Because the same shit you did with that other nigga ain't gonna work for me. Now I'm a freak and I like everything, but damn it, I'm telling you, you're going to have to be able to learn certain dynamics of what it is to be with me. Certain shit that you used to get away with the last relationship and shit like that, you got to reprogram yourself to understand that if you're going to be submissive towards me, you got to have these certain type of things and certain type of stuff or whatever that you didn't deal with when you engage with me. And it all starts with all that goddamn talking all over me shit, and we're not going to have all that shit. We're gonna have goddamn reverence, and we're gonna be treating each other with respect if we're gonna be in this shit, because respect is more valuable than love. But let women tell it, love is all you need. And all that shit comes naturally. I'm sorry to tell you, it's not natural. It's not natural for women. Because down there, women and shit like that in this generation and shit like that, god damn it, men back in the day, they always talk about, well, your granddads was the last generation. Them was the ones and everything that treated us with respect and everything. I wish we could go back to the 1950s. And I was like, oh, you talking about that man that used to bop you in your mouth every time you got down, ran your mouth like you ain't had no goddamn sense. He give you that good old bop. He give you that good old bop. He bop you right in your shit. Every time it's time for you to down. You be talking all over that motherfucker, talking while you talking and shit like that, talking to these niggas like you want to if you want to. And see what he do, he bop you right in your shit, he pop you right in your goddamn mouth. Pop you right in the damn lip. Bust your lip real nice and good. And everybody walking by wouldn't say nothing about it. Because well, that's their business and what the hell they got going on there. It's the same shit. If there ain't no negative consequence or negative repercussion behind them choosing to go a certain type of way of life and everything and stuff like that, they are not going to be submissive. They are not going to want to be modest. They deep down on the inside, the majority of them want to live promiscuous lives any fucking way. They want to live the life of a whore. These 304s want to be wives, and these wives want to be 304s that can't make up their fucking mind on where the fuck they want to be. They can't do it. Because every time you put them in position in one life, they find some reason to be able to see the grass, how green the grass is on the other side. And then when they get over there and shit like that, they realize it's not so much damn greener. Because with wifelyhood, you got to have certain qualifications to be able to call yourself a good wife to a person. And a lot of that shit don't come naturally. It comes after you get trained to do so. But being loose as a goose and everything and shit like that, to live a promiscuous life, hell, that can be fun all you fucking want to, but you will not have that you will not have that sacredness. You will not have that one-on-one type of connection that you're looking for when you're talking about things regarding marriage or anything of that nature. If you're talking about living a promiscuous life, yeah, you might be able to get some beta male ass nigga or something like that with no damn backbone and shit like that, or a damn trick, or a man with low stature, but you will not inherit a man of God. You will not inherit a man who got down standards. You will not inherit an alpha. You will not inherit a man that's about something. He will always be garbage in some way. I don't give a fuck if he got a lot of money. He a bitch ass nigga with a lot of money. He ain't no real nigga. You won't inherit no real nigga with a lifestyle like that, because niggas that want to engage with something real, they're not going to involve themselves with shit that got anything to do like that. They might put you in a certain position in their life, but they'll never allow you to be exclusive with them. And a lot of that shit comes behind the fact that you think that you're naturally submissive and you think that shit good enough, and it's not. Because you don't understand the train ways to go. And you don't want nobody to train you. You don't want nobody to teach you nothing. A woman without instruction is headed for destruction every time. Especially if she can't listen to you for a damn thing. But the only time she want to damn listen to your ass is if you have something that she fucking wants out your ass. For the majority of them. And for the women that actually do value men, that actually are trained to go, and actually are trying to go down and sit like that, and actually do want to be modest, and actually do want to live the lifestyle of a prudent woman, they do not, the amount of them that's on this world is so fucking low. It's so fucking low that it's not worth trying to find the needle in the haystack. That's the reason why the majority of us are living life as bachelors. That's the reason why the majority of us live in life as bachelors, and we cool with that. Because at the end of the day, society has failed us. Society has failed us to be able to grasp the understanding of what it means to raise people up, to be able to be effective in leadership and be effective in being a helpmeet towards somebody that you want to work together with to accomplish a certain goal. And other countries want to overthrow this country because, for number one, we in debt. Number two, they want to weaken us as a society. Number three, especially in the black community, they don't want us to be strong. They don't want us to have a foundation. And they understand that once you cut off the head, the body will fall. They understand that. But if you don't have the right amount of leadership matched with submission, it will fall every time because the legs of the table done been pulled off. Jamil Pittman said, a woman's job is not to listen to a man. God, what the hell are you talking about? A woman's job is not to listen to a man. All her life, she got to listen to a man. All her life, she got to listen to a man for something. When it comes to where she go to school or where she goes to work or whoever it is that she's engaged with in a relationship or anything like that, if she don't listen to the man, she's always going to end up in a worse position in life. The goal for men in this world is to be able to put themselves in the position to be able to help these women and stuff like that get to the positions and the next levels it is that they need through their leadership. And they can't get there and they won't shut the fuck up and listen to no man. That is her job. Her job is to be a helpmeet. When God put Eve down here in the garden, they put them down here with an assignment. And the assignment for Eve was to be a helpmeet towards Adam in anything regarding the garden. And she couldn't do none of that if she wouldn't listen to her man. Y'all come out here talking about a woman's job not to listen to a man. Yes, it is. And if she don't listen to a man, then it means she don't have no respect for him. It means she don't truly love him at all. It means she don't really give a fuck about that guy like that. And you can't have no positive, healthy engagement with anybody in a relationship dynamic like that. You will never be able to have no type of healthy relationship dynamic with a woman that isn't willing to listen to you. If she isn't willing to listen to you, she does not care about you. And you will never get anybody. You will never get anywhere with that. She will fuck up you and your legacy. And we're here to try to build shit up and become strong, especially as black men, especially as black family, especially as a black unit. And you destroy that once you take away the right to listen to whoever it is you're involved with. It's the same thing for men. You got to listen to your woman sometimes too. She be giving you everything you need to be able to be the best type of man to her and shit like that. But if you're not listening to, the relationship is bound to fail. It's both of y'all's job to listen to each other. He said, I've been in a relationship for 17 years and married for 10 years, bro. I don't know how the hell y'all relationship works out with a woman that don't listen to you. She got to be listening to you if it's going to work out that goddamn long. And if it don't, my guy, you're in a terrible fucking marriage. You're in a damn sure relationship. And just because the longevity of your marriage decided to go out and last that long in the relationship, it doesn't mean that she's submissive towards you. It doesn't mean that the marriage is healthy. It doesn't mean that you're getting anywhere in the marriage. You guys be thinking that just because you're in a marriage with somebody long term and shit like that, that means that your relationship is healthy. People put up with abuse and people put up with trauma and people put up with feeling like I have to be stuck and deal with a person a long time because I don't want to deal with the consequences that come behind separating for long periods of damn time. It'll be a whole lot of people and stuff that feel obligated and stuck with a person and shit like that simply because they don't want to lose their financial assets. They don't want to go through the emotional turmoil of what it takes to be able to leave a person and shit like that. They don't want to go through the damn heartbreak. They don't want to be able to, or they sick and stuff like that. Or they just with the person for what they have and they're willing to fake their submission or whatever and stuff like that to be able to inherit a person. But I'm telling you, if a person is not willing to listen to you, especially in form of communication, which is the foundation of a healthy relationship, you're never going to be able to get somewhere in a relationship with that person. I don't care how long y'all call yourselves being together or what the hell it is you give her. If it's not met with reverence or respect, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time if you're with anybody that don't listen to you. And she got a whole manipulation on your ass if you got there sitting here thinking that, her job is not to listen to me. My God, you're the head of that relationship. You're the leader of that relationship. You don't go into your job and sit down and tell your boss when you walk up in the job and everything that you're not going to listen to shit he talking about. Fuck breaking down the boxes. Fuck down flipping burgers. Fuck doing anything it is that you want or ask me or instruct me to do while I'm in here, as long as I'm getting a paycheck. That's not how life works. So either you're capping about that or either you're in an unhealthy relationship, sir. I don't understand the point that you're trying to make here. You know what I mean? I understand it's the same woman. It's going to be the same woman. It's going to be the same shit, just a different day, as long as you allow it to be. But as a man, you should never be engaging with any type of dynamic that allows a person not to be able to be listening to you. And that's another thing. She probably done scoop you that I'm naturally submissive shit too. And probably be telling you and be having you thinking that she's submissive in your life simply because y'all got some paperwork and because she's there sitting beside you. That's not submitting. Submitting is when you can keep your mouth closed even when you say things that you want to hurt the person. Submission is we're with each other in the longevity, not because we have a dependency upon each other, but because we actually value being around each other and we're trying to go somewhere. That's what it's all about. It's all about her contribution towards you and your purpose and where it is you're trying to go. And if they're not trying to do all that from the get jump, then they ain't got no reason to call themselves submissive or naturally. Because that's not how this shit works, gang. You might have to book a consultation with me. Because that's not how this shit rolls. And this ain't to talk shit towards you. This ain't to put you down. I ain't trying to belittle you up here and none of that shit and stuff like that. When I'm up here teaching and I'm making a lot of sense and I'm speaking real nigga shit and you come up in here commenting that kind of stuff like what you just said, God, I really need you to understand you're not making any sense when you talk. Some folks speak just to be heard, but they're not listening. They're not listening. It's the same thing. You're not listening to what I'm saying, guy. There's no way a relationship can be healthy without any type of listening, because communication is the foundation of a healthy relationship. If you don't talk, if you don't work things out, I mean, what do? Just walk in the house every day and stuff like that. And she sit in the opposite room and y'all just keep y'all paperwork together and stuff like that. I mean, it might be a Will Smith Jada situation. Hell, they was together and they was married for the past 7 years. They've been separated and shit like that, but they still been married. But you know what he ain't doing? He ain't fucking her. August Alstina fucking her. She's still fucking Tupac in her mind. But at the end of the day, they don't have any type of chemistry towards each other. Their relationship ain't healthy. Damn it, she trying to exploit that man every chance she get. And you can clearly see that she don't love that man like that. They don't have no communication. The only communication that Jada ever gave Will was when she nodded her head for her to go up there on that stage and slap Chris Rock the way he did. Well, that Jada, I love G.I. Jane too. Can't wait to see it. And here he go with this goddamn talking all that shit and everything, ready to walk up in there, ready to rock and roll for his goddamn baby. She don't even revere him and shit like that. I mean, goddamn. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth, man. Here go Chris. Wow. Wow. G.I. Jane too. Can't wait to see it. Woo, boy. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. That's the type of shit you deal with when you deal with a woman that thinks she's naturally submissive and she bonds with you and she gives you hell because, hell, it ain't her job to communicate shit with you. Not unless it's to go fuck your life up. And yeah, she'll tell you what to do then. Boy, I'm telling you guys. You guys got to heed what I'm telling you. I'm not telling you this shit. I don't want no beef with you, guy. I love you. I'm here to support whatever and shit like that. I congratulate you for allowing your marriage to go along this long, as long as it has. But I'm sitting here trying to put y'all up on game because I love y'all and I don't want y'all to go down the same path that I've been down. I'm telling you guys, you got to stop looking at situations like you're the one that's not superior in the relationship dynamic that you're in and your involvement with her. And you got to understand that the submission that she gives you is not always raw submission. A woman can come to you and do everything you want and need her to do, but the reason behind why she's doing it isn't because she loves and reveres you and appreciates you and respects you, but because you're giving something it is that she wants out of you. Either whether it's some type of resource or rather some type of status or rather some type of lifestyle or even rather it's a rescue mission to escape her from whatever type of environment or whatever it was that she was involved in before she got with you. She will give you fake submission then, but even then that submission got to wear off at some point. And some women can hold that submission to a fake long period of time. Some women can hold that fake reverence and everything all the way up until them 10 years and shit like that. But it never lasts. It never goes 100%. And it always comes to a dead end. And it always hurts in the end once you find out that this reverence and everything is not what I thought it would be. You have to make sure that your name is on the lease. You have to make sure that she reveres you. And you have to make sure that she understands when she comes into your life. Women people talk about all the time, and people want to talk all the time. What are you bringing to the table? It's not what are you bringing to my table. It's what are you bringing to my life? Because I'm allowing God to overflow when it comes to my life in here. You get what I'm saying, G? So it's like God opened the floodgates of heaven. He's, you know what I'm saying? There's no room to receive all the stuff we have up in here. A table is not going to be enough. Like I said, pick up, you know who I am. I don't know who you are, gang. I don't know who you are. I don't know you. But God bless you, and I hope you, you know what I'm saying, work out your relationship status with whoever it is that you're involved with. Peace and blessings to you and everything and stuff like that, man. I hope you, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, have successful and happiness in regards to however you choose to be able to live your life, gang. I really don't know who you is, man. I have to look closer at your damn icon and shit, even know who the hell you is. I don't know you. But back to this damn lesson that I'm having on this King Talk, though, right? Women will manipulate you by sitting down and saying that they're naturally this and they're naturally that, and they automatically a good person. They automatically do this as long as they with this guy and with that guy and everything. If you looked at the standards that they had for a person that they feel obligated to be submissive to, it's always rooted in you have to have a certain amount of statue or materialistic or a certain type of status or value attached to you that allows me to be able to put myself or force myself into that type of dynamic. And this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. That's not natural. That's not natural because there's conditions involved with that. And anytime there's a condition involved in however a person decides to engage themselves with you in a way of servitude, and when it comes to respect and when it comes to reverence, I'm telling you guys, that is not natural submission. The majority of submission that women give on the earth, that's sound, that's good, it didn't come naturally. There might be a natural sense of, you know what I'm saying, if you raised around a good family and everything, that when I'm with a person and everything, I want to serve this person and please them and make them happy. But to be the best and most effective person to it, they have to be trained on that. And you guys got to understand that in this society here in America, there's not a good overwhelming amount of women and stuff like that to choose from to engage with that. I'm sorry to tell you this, but from the get jump, if most of you guys are looking for wives and stuff like that, you're not going to have a wide options to choose from in America, because America is a matriarchy, and it does not raise women to be able to respect or be subservient to men. If anything, anytime a man talks about putting himself in a relationship dynamic where he's superior to his woman, they always try to make it seem like you trying to make that woman a slave. You trying to oppress that woman. You trying to put that woman in a position where she don't, you know what I'm saying? Goddamn, it's always just a messed up situation, and you don't never want to involve yourself in a dynamic like that, guys. I'm here to pass on the game of everything that I learned and equip myself to engage with relationships and stuff. Y'all, I'm telling you, majority of women that I deal with, I don't have these issues. I don't have that problem because I understand and I value women for who and what they are. But I also understand too that when it comes to things of being modest, when it comes to things of submission, when it comes to things of this nature and everything, you guys got to understand when a person is telling you and pandering to you certain ideologies about how they perceive the world simply because they want to put themselves and shed themselves in a certain light to pedestalize them and make them seem like they're fit for whoever and like they have no fault in themselves that needs working. The majority of women that talk like that need work within themselves. They have to be able to engage in that. They have to understand what that means. And if she doesn't understand what that means, and if she doesn't understand what it means to be able to grow and actually honor these things that are called submission and other things, stuff like that, then no, you're not going to do that. And if you're not dwelling in a society that's training and raising these women to be submissive, and if you're not raised in a society that is encouraging women to be submissive and understand what it means to be able to serve their men, to care for their men, to be there for their men in ways and stuff like that that help flourish relationships, you're not going to have that work. If there's not any type of intense type of punishment that's backed behind the condition of not being promiscuous, not being you know what I'm saying, a baddies chick, not being a Suki Hannah or a sexy red or whatever you want to call the modern model of what everybody's striving to be, as far as what's the word I'm looking for when you got a certain type of dynamic where everybody sees you, a certain type of model. When you don't have these certain type of models and everything and stuff like that in your life, and when you're sitting down and you understand that society is not pushing these women towards a certain type of positive model that is guided towards things of that nature when it comes to respect and when it comes to things of understanding the value of a man. I mean, goddamn. Majority of women over here in the USA don't understand the value of a man. They don't appreciate men. So you need to separate yourself from them and stop trying to put yourself in legally binding situations with women that don't understand your value and don't treat you like that. Women say, well, I don't want a boss in my life. Yes, you do. Because women always value men that are superior to them in whatever it is that they value. So, being that we're going into this understanding, you got to understand, well, a woman is going to give her deepest submission towards the man that she views as her boss. Because when she goes to her job and the man is giving her paycheck, she don't give him no talk back. She give him shut up and listen, obedience and all that stuff. She over there and everything and stuff like that, she always does whatever she can to support him and his mission and whatever it is that he's there to do. But it should be the same thing in your relationship dynamics. You guys got to understand that your life is your business when it comes to manhood and masculinity. Your life is your business. I had a girl get mad at me the other day about that shit because he said, how in the way you going to say that you're my business? I'm not your business. I'm not my business. I said, yes, you are. Because if you revere me enough and you sit down, you come into my life and you say you want me to lead and you want me to do all these things and stuff like that, then you got to understand you're asking me to be in a position of power in your life. And that comes with certain benefits. But this is the thing. They want the benefits behind submission, but they don't want the responsibility of the role. They don't want that. So whatever they can do to get the benefits by sitting down and saying things like they're naturally submissive, they'll say it to you to be able to reel you in. And once they reel you in, they'll lock you into that dynamic and keep you locked in there so they can benefit off of whatever benefits they get from you. But you guys got to understand what real submission is all about. Submission isn't you standing there with a whip and forcing somebody to do whatever it is that you want to do, even though the only way you can actually get modesty out of these women and stuff like that since the beginning of time is to have a harsh punishment that keeps them in check behind stuff like that. The same way the Muslims and everything over there doing over there, they don't have no issues out there with women. But you know what? God forbid they step on the wrong doggone thing. They act like they ready to murder them behind something. You want to talk about oppression? You need to go over to third world countries and see what's going on over there, because they're not tolerating that shit. They have so much freedom and liberation and feminist movement shit going on. And such of an attack on manhood and masculinity, an attack on the foundation of familyhood, especially black families, because they want to control you. They want to be able to take down everything. And they understand that by doing that, they can take you down by removing everything that allows yourself to be able to have the stronghold of the relationship. And once they tackle that, they can rule over you. If I want to take down China, and I want to take down, rule the world, and I want to take down India, and I want to take down Africa, and I want to take down Australia, and I want to take down everything, the main place I would start is by tackling the manhood, the masculinity of the men, because I understand that once I weaken them, everything else is just weak from there on out. There's no more strength to be able to allow myself to be able to do that, because at the end of the day, nobody over there wants to be submissive. Everybody calls themselves wanting to lead, but once you put them in that lead position, they can't handle the responsibility of the role. So you don't have strong, effective leaders. You don't have people standing up for what's right. You don't have people coming up and being able to understand what it means to have a stronghold and be able to have strength under the dynamic of what keeps your country moving. I can come in and wipe it off. Like a Kleenex tissue off the top of a table, wiping off a spill. I can just pick you up with the rag like that, like it's nothing. That's what they're doing with America. America is weakening now because you have so many people thinking that they naturally are something that they're not. You have to be trained for this stuff. If you want kingship, train yourself in the way to go. Surround yourself by other men. I'll leave off my message tonight with this. It's okay to naturally have goodwill and morality in your heart, to be able to do good things for people and have kindness towards people and things of that nature. But when it comes to roles in society, and when it comes to roles in relationships, and when it comes into roles into what set things to be happy and understanding what it means to have healthy dynamics in relationships, you guys got to understand, you have to be raised into the direction that you need to go. So, older generation, you need to be pouring more into this young generation and passing down the game of knowledge and everything and stuff like that you have. And younger generation, you need to be listening. And you need to understand that, yes, it is your job to listen. Because if you don't listen, you will fall behind every single time. You want to get mad with me? Don't get mad with me. Argue with the word of God, because there's plenty of scriptures in the book of Proverbs that tell you and warn you against folly, against men and women that refuse to receive instruction and refuse to hear and refuse to learn what it means to grow. Because they think they already got it made. They think they already got everything figured out. It's okay to not have everything figured out as long as you're trying to get to the position where you can. Okay? This is what I need you guys to understand. I need you guys to understand. Women, if you're single and you don't have a man figure in your life, I need you to raise your boys up and surround them with positive masculine leadership. I ain't talking about a man that just has a penis between his legs. I'm talking about a firm, masculine person that is in charge of some leadership and everything, that is wise in counsel and can distribute them and learning and guiding and leading them in the ways that they needed to go. I lost my father and he died when I was 15. It took me a hard time trying to figure out manhood on my own, but I didn't sit down and say, oh, well, I naturally got manhood all figured out. No, I had to learn these things. So I went to other places and stuff in my life, and I equipped myself with the tools and the knowledge necessary to be able to make myself an effective leader, to make myself a better husband if I needed to be, to make myself a better lover, to make myself a better father, to make myself a better leader, to make myself a better king, to make myself a better everything. And it's okay. You got to be humble enough to admit that. Because once I started engaging with other men that were leaders and that had wise counsel and things that I was passionate about, I allowed them to pour into me. I went to my local churches. I allowed the men in there to pour everything into me. I went when my father was here. I kept everything that he told me because I listened to him while he was here, while he was alive. I kept all that in my heart. When I talk about my relationship with God, I listen to God and I allow God to pour into me things that he tells me is valuable towards being a man. I allow myself to engage around other people. I thank God for all the P's in my circle, bro, that equip me with all the game and knowledge and understanding and what it takes to be able to even drop this game and these gems on y'all, man. But it started because I engaged myself with people that allowed me to be able to flourish in things that I found valuable, because I didn't sit down and say I naturally got everything figured out the way a Sigma mindset a person would have. I sat down and said, you know what? I value the hierarchy, and I allow the top to be able to reach down and pick me up from the bottom and pull me up to where they at. And that's kingship. There's been lots of a lineage of kingships before me, and studying them is the first step in getting to where you need to go. And it's the same thing when it comes down to women. So I'll tell again, women, make sure that when you raise your sons, if you're a single parent and you have sons, make sure that you surround them with positive male leadership. I ain't talking about some guy with a gun that'll shoot over you and everything because he loves you. That's not positive male leadership. I'm talking about he is what's the word I'm looking for? He excels in things that are valuable to you concerning manhood and concerning the direction and where men are supposed to go. And for men, if you have daughters, I need you to surround them with positive role models. Positive role models, because I'm sorry, this is no diss on Sexy Red or Suki Hannah or Ice Spice or Nicki Minaj or fucking Cardi B or damn Megan Thee Stallion or none of that stuff like that. But I'm sorry, they are not the best role models for how most of you tell me that you want your daughters to be. If you want them to grow up and be effective and then being able to understand the right dynamic of what it means to grow up and be the right type of things and stuff like that, you got to understand that they're not naturally just going to grow up and be able to be the right model of what you want them to be in themselves. You have to surround them with the leadership and guidance that they need. There are positive female role models out here. You just got to dig deep to find them, because the world and the media is always trying to suppress them. And that's the reason why in 24 Kings, which is why I'm going to always be trying to do whatever I can do to put myself in a position to shed light on these women that are shed positive light. You don't have to agree with everything Candace Owens says, but she carries herself like she got some dignity, and she dresses like she got some dignity. And most importantly, she's all about filling herself with intellect and being able to stand her ground on what it is she represents and stand for. So, Shahrazad Ali, forgive me for mispronouncing her name, but shouts out to the Queen Ali. She's a great role model. She did all that. She did everything she can do to make a positive relationship and positive stand in relationships with role models with women and stuff like that. There's lots of women and stuff like that in history and stuff that represent themselves good. There was a black woman that she found a cure for cancer. She found a cure for cancer and everything. She's a positive role model. How many of y'all done heard about that in the news? Or it was something that could combat cancer. It was something that she used cell phone research and data and stuff like that to be able to be effective in that stuff. You don't hear about none of that stuff on the news. You got to make sure that your daughters can gravitate towards women like that and pick up on what it means to understand that. And that's when they're actually going to be able to inherit the skills of what it means to value and have submission. Other nationalities, other countries, other religions, they don't have these issues. They are embedding their women from the get-jump to understand what it means to value and serve a man. And because of that, they allow themselves to stay in positions of power. They don't have this fight dynamic and these gender wars going on. Gender wars is lame. But what I'm trying to get you guys on game on is understanding that in this dynamic and stuff like that, you cannot allow yourself to be fooled by people who want to claim to be something that they're not and pull you into a dynamic where they fool you into thinking that you got yourself submissive and you got yourself something good simply because you got some paperwork with them or simply because they said so. That's different. Learn to be able to discern people and understand what true submission is all about. And this starts with understanding where true submission really comes from. It never comes naturally from women. It's always developed in them. And it's developed in them by people that are from the forefront of the generation that are ahead of them that's willing to pass that down. And what a blessing it is to pass that down. But I'm sorry to tell you this, but if generations refuse to pass things down and the generations above us refuse to not listen, then God, you better off just being a bachelor, and you don't need to be concerned about trying to find nobody valuable out here. And I'm telling you, it's falling short every single day. Every single day. And the amount of women that want to be modest and actually be submissive is falling short every single day. You have less to choose from all the time. Guys, I want you guys to stay subscribed to King Talk. You know what I'm saying? Share my lives, man. You know what I'm saying? Support me and everything. I'm going to be dropping more content and everything and stuff like that and chopping up more game with y'all in the meantime and stuff like that. I'm trying to be more consistent with all this type of stuff and at least have a good fan base by the time 2024 start. You know what I'm saying? But just take everything I said to y'all in consideration tonight, man, because y'all got to understand how valuable it is to understand this stuff. You guys got to grow mentally. And don't get in no space where you guys want to come and fight me all the time behind what the hell I said, or because you disagree with me behind this, or because anything like that. Understand what I'm saying. I'm telling you guys this shit out of love, man. I'm telling you guys this shit because I want you guys to flourish in life and shit like that, man. I'm telling you guys like this because I don't want y'all to fall into the traps that I've previously fallen into before, falling for the same shit. You guys got to wisen up on game. And over here in 24 Kings, this is where we're going to have counsel. Y'all stay blessed.